This is the February market report, and this month and in January it was really the weather for once, not the economy, that was the biggest issue. Certainly it had a huge impact, not just the real estate business, but auto sales and across the board. It has really across the country. But certainly in Michigan it had a big impact. But the interesting thing is that if you look at the numbers for sales, values were still up, ranging anywhere from 4 to 10%. Washtenaw County being on the lower end, but they were also the first market to jump up after the slowdown. So they're really the first market to settle into closer to a normal market. I can't say any market in Michigan is really back to normal, and that's a good thing. They're more active than normal. And the rest of southeast Michigan and up into Traverse City and northwest Michigan, it's about a 10% increase as well, which is good news. Also, inventories going into the year are probably at least a 10-year low, as low as we've seen since we've been keeping records. And of course, with the weather, not only did it pull buyers out from showing properties, it also held sellers back as well. I'm sure a lot of sellers looked at the energy it takes to clean up their house, move the snow, and I think a lot of them figured they're just going to wait till the snow melted a little bit more. So we're going into the year with a low inventory and going into the spring market through February with a low inventory. But the interesting thing is that although our showing activity is off about 35% compared to last January, and that's weather related, the activity of people looking on our website and making inquiries on properties, in other words, the pre-showing activity, is equal to last January and last February. So that tells us that the buyer activity is there, the demand is still there, it's just being pushed back by the weather. So we were expecting spring to be a little more normal, not quite as wild as last spring, 2013 and 12, which were very wild markets. But I think we're going to be wrong on this one. It's going to be a pretty wild spring. In fact, it'll be a pretty quick jump. As soon as that weather breaks and the snow starts to melt, you're going to see some pretty fast activity in the marketplace. I think you'll see sellers reacting to the opportunity to put their homes in the market, and certainly buyers will start coming out of the woodwork. Although we don't expect 2014 to be as wild as 13 as we've been saying before, certainly the first half will have a little roller coaster effect because of the weather. One of the things that we've been tracing is on how the market's going is the relationship between the list price and sale price, and that has an impact. The hotter the market, the closer that is. And for the most part, homes that have been selling quickly, in other words, homes selling in less than 90 days, that list price to sale price has been holding at about 90, as low as maybe 95% for northwest Michigan, to as high as almost 98% for Washtenaw County, but in that range. And that's a high range for traditional numbers. Typically it's in the 95% range for most areas, and northwest would be in the low 90s, northwest Michigan rather than the low 90s. So we would expect to be at near an all-time high on the asking price to sale price. But one of the things we looked at was those homes have been in the market for a while. They've had multiple price changes. They typically sell for a discount because they've been in the market for a while, and often they're overpriced in relation to other homes in the market. But those have traditionally been in about the 75% price range. So there's been about 25% discount to what they're asking. That number has moved up to almost 90%. So what that tells us is because of the lack of inventory, even the homes that haven't been so perfect, that haven't been just the right priced, buyers are even grabbing those. So if you don't have anything in the fridge, that old donut doesn't look so bad after all. And that's really what we're seeing in the marketplace. And the inventory is starting to move at all levels. And we probably can expect to see it throughout the year. But bottom line is, although we've had a slower start to the market, the fundamentals are really strong. We expect the spring to bust loose once the weather breaks, and looks like the rest of the year will be pretty strong as well. So thanks.